It's time for change. I want to start by saying thank you to the residents of Vauxhall who have placed this absolute honour in me. I feel so humble beyond words to be elected as the new MP for somewhere where I've called home all my life. A number of you know that this is the only place I've ever lived. So to think that a girl like me could represent this seat, it's great. I also want to pay a big thank you to the other candidates. Putting yourself forward for election in this current climate is very difficult, especially as fellow women. There's a lot of hate, there's a lot of angriness, and we've got to remember that a few years ago an MP was killed doing the job she loved. So I salute anyone putting themselves forward for public office. And I'd also like to pay tribute to the outgoing MP, Kate Hoey, who served this constituency for over 30 years. When Kate was selected and elected in 1989, I was an 8-year-old living on a Cowley estate. And for Kate to be elected and re-elected over many years, she must have done something good. We have different views on the EU, but she was a hard, diligent, hard-working MP that stood up for her residents. And I hope to follow in that. I will be a voice for the residents across Vauxhall, a voice for those people that I've spoken to over the last 6 weeks who need that investment so that they can get the housing, a voice for those people who are using food banks, a voice for the children who, like me, go to school in Vauxhall, but yet some of their school funding's been cut, a voice for the people that I spoke to at St Thomas's Hospital just 2 days ago in A&E, the hospital where my 2 children were born, but yet they've seen so much cuts in those hospitals. A voice for the young people like me who use the youth centres in this constituency, but a number of them have been closed. I will be their voice in Parliament to make sure we get the investment in and make sure that this constituency is once again great. Over the last 6 weeks, a number of people have supported me. I want to pay tribute to all the hard-working activists and Labour members, not just from here in Vauxhall, but right across, that have supported me. Your hard work, your dedication, pounding the streets day and night, delivering leaflets, speaking to people, attending hustings with me, making phone calls on social media, all of that mobilisation, you can't buy that. Other people have spent a lot of money on this election, but we had the people. We had the people who were passionate. We had the people who were pounding the streets, getting that Labour message out because they wanted that change. A big thank you to my fantastic agent, Martin Bailey. The election staff across the council here have been working so hard. Having been a local government officer myself, I know how hard it is being thrust into that and having to organise an election across our 3 constituencies in a matter of weeks. That takes a lot of hard work. Our public servants who work very hard, but yet over the years they haven't seen their salary increase. So a big thank you to the returning officer and all the electoral staff, some who've taken time off, some who are going to be owed time off in lieu, some who've probably used their annual leave. We were all turned up at ballot stations at 7 o'clock, but they were there a lot earlier. So thank you to them for running a fair and open and transparent. The results are still coming in across the country, and I'll be honest to say I am saddened to see so many good Labour colleagues lose their seats. So many good Labour colleagues who fought very hard, who stood up for their relevant communities, who stood up for their constituents. We've seen how Brexit has divided the nation over the last 3.5 years, and the paralysis that's caused. And I'm proud to have stood on a Labour manifesto which offered real hope and change, a real living wage, investment in our schools, the decent earnings that our nurses and doctors need, that green transformation government to touch on climate change which affects all of us. All those things are important for people in Vauxhall, and I hope to continue to campaign on that. One thing I can promise to the residents of Vauxhall who've put their faith in me is that I will be a tireless campaigner. I'm going to be open and accessible MP. Whether you live in Brixton, Kennington, Oval, Stockwell, Clapham, I'm your MP. Whether you voted for me or not, I am your MP. And I'm going to stand here and work for all of you. Our small businesses who are struggling, our European citizens who were denied the vote to vote in this election. I will continue to campaign so that you can vote in general elections. To our police officers, sometimes we do take democracy for granted, but we've had an open and fair election here. So just to thank all the police officers in this constituency as well, who do hard work for us. Finally, I want to thank my friends and family, and most importantly, my husband Matthew, and my 2 children, Mia and Malachi. Every day when I'm rushing back after the school run, handing the kids over, my little girl goes, "Have you got your flower, mummy?" It's my rosette. They're too young to understand what's going on, but they were with me a few weeks ago when we were marching for People's Vote. And I'll continue to stand up for them and all the other young people in Vauxhall. Matthew's been by my side, the highs and the lows, the aches and the pains. A number of you who know me will know that I don't like the cold and the rain, but always pushing me and encouraging me. But the hard work starts now. There's a lot to do. There are a lot of challenges in this constituency, but equally I'm ambitious for this constituency. And I know that by working with all of you, working with all the residents, we can continue to make Vauxhall great. Thank you.